Hello, friends. How are you? I want to make sure you can hear me because I bought a podcast mic. So I'm hoping that some of the sound issues I have had off and on might be resolved by having this new microphone. So I hope you can hear me. We did run some tests and it looked like everything was working okay, but you know how that Murphy's Law thing often works. Uh, okay, good. So, no problems with the sound. And welcome, Graham Fan. New name for me. I'm so tickled to see you here in the chat. I am going to do like I always do and get started with some fun numbers, our member channels, and previous guests on the show. I track their subscriber numbers. So week to week, we compare and just celebrate the little victories as these channels grow. So let me pull up my spreadsheet and get my share screen going, and we will start with that right now. All right, so Runneth Over Garden&Life. They're at the top of the list in case you wonder. Hey, Nick, how are you? Because they were our very first channel member. So once we became monetized and channel memberships were available to viewers and subscribers, they were the first, I think like the first day that we announced that we had memberships available, they joined the channel by way of a membership. And just so you'll know, that is a huge blessing for any content creator because it does take time and effort. And a lot of times there are financial investments that go into having and maintaining a channel, like podcast mics and cameras, or even if you're just recording and uploading from your phone, then obviously you've got to have a good enough quality phone to get good videos, and then upload those videos, which would mean you'd have to have a mobile data or internet, Wi-Fi that you can connect to. So there are always expenses associated with having a YouTube channel, even if they're not significant. And I imagine that as channels grow, those costs can also grow. Hello, Joe and Sue at the Bud Files. Thanks for being here today. So we appreciate our channel members. We appreciate anyone who stops by and supports the channel in all the different ways that you can support it. But, you know, you get down to the brass tacks of it. And a part of what we want to accomplish with the channel is being able to support our rescue work and just keeping all of our animals fed. And so our channel memberships are a wonderful and inexpensive way for folks to do just that. So Nina and Boyce were our very first channel members. And comparing stats from last Friday to today, they were at 752 subscribers last Friday. They are at 756 today. Woman Outdoors, the second person to join our channel. And it was pretty much right behind Nina and Boyce at Runneth Over Garden&Life. So you know, just a lot of motivation and encouragement that comes from seeing that kind of connection and participation from some of the people that have been following us as we've grown. Woman Outdoors, LB was at 965 subscribers last Friday. She's at 966 today. Ordered Steps, another channel member, was at 194 last Friday. She's back up to 195. Not a lot of posting on her channel, so I know that does impact how quickly any channel might grow. But I'm just glad to see her not losing a lot of ground. My friend Akashi Chris at Mind Forked was at 261 subscribers last Friday. She's at 264 today. My friend Byron at 12 Stones Ranch. I'd like to share this when I do my live streams. Both Byron and Akashi, so 12 Stones Ranch and Mind Forked, have both made actual visits here to Rich Cat Ranch. They have come for lunch and dinner, respectively, and have met the animals and fed a lot of the animals and just really connected with us in the real world in a very gratifying and enjoyable way. And I am so excited to be sharing their channel milestones with all of you. So Byron was at 1,920 something. I can only see those first 3 digits when I go to his page. He has lost some subscribers. He did post a new video a few days ago, but I know in between the time he had posted his previous video and this most recent one, he did lose some subscribers. And it's just, these are always lessons we can learn if we're trying to grow channels. You can learn by what you see happening with other channels so that you can form game plans and, you know, develop some strategies that might prevent you from seeing some of the same impacts with your own channel. But nothing to laugh at there. He's got a nice, healthy number of supporters in the way of subscribers. And I imagine at this point, he's just in need of some watch hours. So we'll be continuing to promote him here so that you guys can help him accomplish that. My friend Weaves World from across the pond, as they say, another channel member. He was at 3,120 something subscribers last Friday. He's at 3,130. I'll just put a little plug in again. Every Monday, typically it's at 4:30 Central Time US. He stays up very late to be able to accommodate his different viewers from all around the world. But every Monday around that time, he does amazing quizzes, and it might be anything from just general knowledge quizzes to music quizzes, movies. We did a really fun Halloween quiz, and then some on Halloween night. We did a really fun actual Halloween like games and puzzles and riddles stream. He awards points for right answers. Top 3 people that answer get points, and then every month the person with the most points wins a prize. So he's a very generous content creator and tailors all of his material to his viewers. But back to numbers, he was at 3,120 something last Friday. He's at 3,130, and I will just ask a favor of you that you please go to his channel, check out some videos, always do that first, and then subscribe. But when you subscribe, leave a comment in a video somewhere to let him know that I sent you, because there are points awarded for that. I came in second place, I think, last month in the Subscriber of the Month contest. So you guys, if you don't know me already, I like to win things. So I'd love to be the #1 subscriber for his channel for the month of November. So go to his channel, watch a few videos, subscribe, leave a comment, let him know you sent me, and you won't be disappointed. There's just a lot of fun to be had there. It's a wonderful family of chatters. We always have a good time when we're together in one of his live streams, and it'll be worth the time and effort that you might devote to checking him out. Our newest channel member is Joe Hupp, a friend from Australia. He was at 273 subscribers last Friday. He's still at 273. I don't worry as long as channels are holding their ground. Hello, Dancing Alone with Reynolds. Hello, Dawn Ray B. It's good to see you guys here today. Thank you for coming. And then moving on to channels who have been guests on the show before now. Nick at Multi-Hunter 24/7, who is in our chat today. If you haven't checked out his channel, please do. Apparently, there are plenty of hogs to be harvested right now. Even the missus recently got a good-sized hog, and that is definitely a problem here in Texas if we don't have hunters that are willing and skilled in managing that population. They can absolutely cause utter destruction. So kudos to him for doing his part, and to her. Check out his channel. He was at 534 subscribers last Friday. He's at 554. Mud and Mascara Homestead, my friend Tiffany. Again, all of the next 10 or 12 channels have been previous guests on the show. And as I add new guests to the show, I track their numbers as well. So at some point, I might have to break up how I do the sharing of the stats, just so I don't have people in the green room too long at a time waiting to come up and visit with us. But Tiffany was at 340 subscribers last Friday. She is at 359 today. And then Devin and Ryan at Our New Land, a couple more Texas neighbors for us. They were at 711 subscribers last Friday. They are at 738. You can see from my spreadsheet, I only have numbers that go back to September 30th. But we had our first guest on the show, I think on the 22nd of July. And so for a while, I had the numbers going all the way back to the first guest that was on the show. Hey, Ralph at Webb's Web, how are you? But it just made it too hard for me to, I don't know on Google how to lock that first column or that B column so that I can scroll over but keep it there. I'm happy to take advice and tips if one of you knows how to do that. Maybe I just don't remember how to do it, but I know there's a way to do it in Excel. So that's why I just have been cutting off weeks as we get farther into the year. So probably next week you'll see that September 30th and October 7th, you'll see those columns drop. I don't need to keep tracking it there. It's fun to see the growth week to week. And some of these channels, let me tell you, they really did start very, very small. Not that I'm claiming credit for that, but I do enjoy at least feeling like I play a part in getting content creators in front of new viewers and subscribers. And there's room for all of us at the top. YouTube is not a one person wins it all kind of a thing. And success can be measured and defined differently for every content creator. I never expect to have 1 million subscribers. I never expect to make millions of dollars. But if I can continue to enjoy what I'm doing and continue to connect and engage with people who visit the channel while making at least enough money to maybe feed the flock every month, then that's a win for me. Hello, Gail from Gail's Southern Living. I was on her show on Sunday this past weekend. So if you guys haven't checked out that interview, please check out her channel and watch me be on the other side of the interview process for a really fun visit that I had with her. All right, so back to our spreadsheet. So Our New Land, 711, and then 738. Jesse and Lisa, I imagine all of you know who they are. If not, you will know them at some point in your life here on YouTube because they are everywhere all at one time. Jesse's a moderator for my channel. He can't make it every Friday, but when he's here, he just knocks it out of the park as far as taking care of the chat and being helpful to everyone who visits. They were at 1,180 something subscribers last Friday. They're at 1,190 something today. And then moving on to Ginger at Not For Nothing Homestead. That little CT you see by her name was from a couple of weekends ago when YouTube opened the community tab to channels that had fewer than 500 subscribers. That used to be the threshold. And not everyone who has less than 500 has gotten it. So I'm sure they have a system and an algorithm that determines which channels are good candidates for getting it when they have less than 500. But hers was among those that I know of that got her community tab a couple of weekends ago with less than 500 subscribers. Hello, David Hunt. Okay, so David, I want y'all to sweet talk him too because I really, really would love to have him on my show. He's a blessing everywhere he goes. I saw him at DAYZ Homestead yesterday, and what I saw there is what I'd love to see happen here for one of my streams because, again, it will bless anybody that's a part of it. So no pressure or anything, David, but I really would love to pick a date and get you on the show to share your gifts with us. So again, back to Ginger. She was at 360 subscribers last Friday. She's at 377 today. My friend Robin at What the Flock was at 366 subscribers last Friday. She's at 376 today. Lee, another of my UK friends at First Floor Audio, was at 602 subscribers a week ago. He is at 613 today. Katie at Mayfield Ranch was at 427 subscribers last Friday. She's at 451 today. Rich at Rich New Design was at 288 subscribers last Friday. He's at 300 today. I haven't seen new videos go up yet. He is anticipating resuming creating content mid-November. He had some computer issues that had him shut down for a while. Hello, Pete, Scratch and Pete. There's another person that if for some reason you don't know him yet, you will, and you need to know him. One of the most generous people on YouTube, and really has some addictive content on his channel. My friend Adam Sky is in the chat too. Hello. Adam is another of my UK friends. We're going to get to his entry on my spreadsheet here in just a bit. But back to Rich New Design. Okay, so at 300 subscribers today for him. Jeff and Lorena at Back to Country Homestead, some more Texas neighbors. They were at 468 subscribers last Friday. They are at 472 today. Brettany from RB Story, Ronny and Brettany was my guest 3 or 4 weeks ago, I guess now. And she was at 402 subscribers last Friday. She's at 406 today. Ashley at CNC Farm was at 548 subscribers. She's at 628 today. Hers is a story I really like to focus on as far as being able to provide all of you with some encouragement and motivation to just keep doing what you're doing and believing in what you have to offer to your viewers. Because as you can see, back when I first interviewed her on the show, that particular day, she was at 129 subscribers. By the next Friday, she was at 226. Again, that's not because of me. She's doing a lot of things right. She's consistently posting content. She was making the rounds as far as being guests on live streams just to introduce herself to people. If people, I say it all the time. If people like you, they will support you. It doesn't even really matter what your content is. It doesn't mean that if you don't have a lot of subscribers, people don't like you. It just may mean that not enough people know about you. So my mission is just to get people's names out there. Share your content. Let people know who you are and what you're about. Hello, Mela Stacy. Mela Stacy, I have to tell you guys, is a friend of mine from Peter Tragos' channel, Lawyer You Know, as is Psychology Noir with Dr. Lund. That's where I first met her as well. So I am really tickled to see you here today, honey. That's exciting to me. Ashley just has a really fun growth story there. And as you can see, each week she is adding to her YouTube family by leaps and bounds. I love these kind of numbers. Home Bartending with John was at 196 subscribers last Friday. He's at 204 today. And then my friend, Psychology Noir with Dr. Lund, Vicki Lund is in the chat today. If you haven't checked out her channel, please do. She was at 410 subscribers last Friday. She's at 416 today. I know you have a new video out, Vicki, that I have not seen yet. So it's on my to-do list. I think I put it in my watch later so that I won't miss it. Because, I mean, I eat that stuff up. So if you guys are at all interested in things related to just how the mind works and behavior, human behavior, there's great stuff at her channel with a lot more to come. And I love that I'm seeing you post more consistently lately, because we're gonna have fun watching your numbers go up. So now my friend Adam Sky was at 83 subscribers last Friday. He's at 84 today. I think I've watched that number go up and down many, many times since I had you on the show, Adam. Just a nice escape. Go and hang out with Adam. Meet his dog, see the beautiful countryside, just have fun with him. It was one of the most enjoyable live streams that I've had to date, my Friday with Adam. And I knew it would go exactly like that just because of the interactions that we'd had online. I met him at Weave's World in a contest, in a quiz chat. And we're kind of quiz partners. So as I've shared with you before, if we're doing a quiz that tends to be more related to United Kingdom stuff, then I generally watch for his answers if it's not something that I'm familiar enough with to answer it on my own. And likewise, if it's more of a US related question, he often looks to me to see what my answer is going to be. So I have a lot of fun with that, and I've learned a lot of things. But Adam is a great friend. We had a great time. I've already told him I'd love for him to be a co-host with me from time to time. I hope he'll take me up on that at some point because it was really just that much fun. The Late Late Horror Show, my friend Dino, just an incredibly talented person, an incredibly loving person. He gave a wonderful interview the day I had him on the show. The whole show was devoted to him. I really tried to pick his brain because there were things that I wanted to know about him just beyond what he shares with us on his channel, which to me is already just a gold mine. And he is also growing at a really nice pace. I had hoped to see him at 100,000 by Halloween. It didn't quite happen, but I don't think it's very far in the future. He was at 91,500 something subscribers last Friday. He's at 92,200 something today. So a lot of fun to be had at his channel. Don't let the title of the channel fool you. It's not just horror content. I don't want to sound like I'm, bugging you guys every day, but there is something for everyone at his channel. And it is such a wonderful, enjoyable escape from the hassles and pressures of whatever might have happened during the day for you to come and hang out with us in the evenings there. I spend most of my time there every night because he has something happening on the channel every night. So please check it out. My friend Dawn Ray B, my first, she was in the chat. I hope she's still in the chat. My first more virtual interview than what I usually do on the show. She was at 335 subscribers last Friday. She's at 339 today. Jen at Good Times Homestead was at 561 subscribers last Friday. She's at 569 today. Nancy at Our Treasured Home was at 645 subscribers last Friday. She's at 658 today. And then my first guest this afternoon will be Fat Ninja DM. I have him backstage in the green room. He was at 360 subscribers last Friday. He's at 377 today. I'm very excited about what I know part of his message to all of us will be today. Hello, Devin. Thanks for being here today. And then beyond that, my second guest for today will be David at Safe and Sound Texas Audio Excursion. He was at 1,530 subscribers last Friday, 30-something subscribers last Friday. He's at 1,560-something subscribers today. Next week, Peter Tragos from Lawyer You Know will be my one and only guest on the show that day. Never know for sure how long he'll be able to be with us because I'm telling you, he's a busy man. He is a full-time attorney. That's his day job. And he and his dad and the partners in that firm run a booming, busy business in Florida. So I am super excited to introduce you to those guys. Again, Mela Stacy and, Dr. Lund is also a Lawyer You Know family member as well. So I know both of them from that channel, but I will be hoping that you guys will come and meet him. That's going to be a fun show. And then I'm going to move on just to getting my guest up on the screen. But you can see on my list here who I've got coming up for the weeks, leading us into the middle of December. And then I'm still planning a Christmas stream for the day before Christmas Eve. So I'm not sure exactly what that will entail. I might work my nerve up enough to sing for you guys live. That'll be a huge step for me, but I think it's something I'm feeling called to do, and I need to get over some hurdles. Some hurdles and not feel like I can't get through actually singing live for you guys. So let me stop sharing my screen. I am going to bring Daryl up from Fat Ninja DM. Thank you for waiting so patiently. I usually, when I invite people, I can only tell them that I'm going to bring them up about 2:15-ish or 2:45 to 2:50-ish. Again, I'll have to come up either with a different way to present some of these stats, or I'll just have to break it up and do it in a couple of different parts of the show. So we're going to spin for Channel of the Week between guests today, in case some of you have been here long enough to know that I always do the wheel of names and spin for a channel of the week. But now that I have got you here, how are you?
I'm doing very well. I was a tad bit under the weather today, but it seems to be cleared up now enough for me to do the show. I do sound a little congested, but I want to give a shout out to three of my people out here. We got our new land, Multi Hunter, and Graham. Hey, thank y'all for supporting me. I mean, ever since they subscribed to me, they've been ride or dies ever since. So shout out to you guys.
Doesn't
I
it feel
definitely appreciate
good?
it.
Golly, doesn't that feel good?
Yes, it
Yeah.
does.
And don't underestimate it, guys. When you stop into someone's live stream or you leave a comment under a video, that can absolutely change the whole course of the day for us. That can absolutely give us hope and encouragement when maybe we were really struggling with something. And it might sound
Absolutely.
cheesy to tell you that. I'm typically upbeat. I'm very busy, so I'm not going to say there's not stresses and we're just like everybody. We live in the real world. We face a lot of the same struggles, but this
Yep.
channel has brought me so much joy, and 99% of it, because a big part of it just comes from me enjoying creating content and sharing myself with y'all. But most of it
Absolutely.
comes from the responses I get from people and having people show up for a live stream. Oh my goodness, that is one of the most gratifying feelings to have people show up for a live stream. There's my friend
Hmm.
Troy. Hi, Troy at Bayou Bengal 25. One of the earliest people I met. I met him through Tuber Chat. He's been a huge supporter for the channel. I love you, Troy. Thanks for being here today. You guys check out his channel too. But I like to just go down a little list of questions to ask, and then I want to give you the floor, and I want you to, and in fact, part of your mission may come up in one of these questions. I try to ask questions that will really open up the opportunities for content creators to share what their channel's about and what they want to accomplish with it. So um, I may not have to kind of turn the floor over to you at the end. I'm sure we may cover part of what I love about you and your channel just by going through some of these questions. But
Yeah.
and the first question may even be the one to do it. What motivated you to start your channel?
I used to do my podcast on a platform called Blog Talk Radio. It was all audio, wasn't no video or anything. And I did that for about 2 years, and then in 2013 I suffered a stroke. So of course that brought all that to an end. And fast forward like 10 years later, and all my co-hosts from the show that you see now, they were contacting me like, Ninja, come on, man, we need to start doing this again, man. We miss it. And I was like, at first I was like, I think I was over it. But they they kept bugging me and bugging me and bugging me, and I was like, okay, guys, do y'all really want to do this? And because we were all in a chat room together, and it was like, when you pick the day, you pick the time, we'll be there. And I was like, okay, well, I guess this is something that I'm supposed to do. So we resurrected the show from the dead, and hey, 2022, we're back.
Well, I'm glad for that. I'm sure your supporters are glad for that. I know when I happen to have stars align enough to get in on one of your live streams, I love what I feel there. I think initially, so when I first saw you, I really thought a lot of what you did just had to do with gaming. And that's again part of why I really love having people on the show because
Mm,
channel names and single videos out of the whole catalog can sometimes not give them the whole picture of what it is you do and what you offer
mm,
and what you're about.
yeah.
And so, obviously, the more that I've had opportunities to get in and listen in on some live streams and participate, that's
Hmm.
when, wow. And I've seen you on some other live streams, and I can't remember, probably one of Shane's, probably one of
Yeah.
uh, Great
Great.
Farmer Freelance
Yep.
live streams, and I saw you, and I think I sent the message to you that day that I really wanted to get you on the show. So
Yeah.
I'll just thank you now for being here. Again, I know we're going to get to a point where you're going to share some really, I think, powerful stuff with us beyond what you've already shared. But let me go on with some more questions. Does anyone help you with the channel? Anyone help with filming or editing or planning content or?
My my friend that's never on camera, Obi Wonder Brony. He's actually my producer. He likes to get with the guys and say, hey, we know what topics do you want to talk about. Always getting feedback and he's always pushing me to be a little bit better because um, you know as we all know, you alluded to it earlier, Kathy. We kind of get down on ourselves sometimes, and he's always like, "No, Ninja, you are supposed to do this." And so along with that, and then my other co-host, because that's another reason why I think that my show is stands out because all of us are friends. Like I said, Ob, PK, and Riv, I've known them for 10 years now. But
Nice.
my other co-host Pook Ninja, I've actually known him in real life for over 35 years. So like I've seen both of his kids be born. They grown now. And stuff like that. So me and Pook have been through a lot together. So like it's not just me and co-host. It's just
Nice.
it's me and my friends, and I think
Nice.
that's what really makes us stand out. But yeah, Obi is definitely the backbone of my channel.
Nice.
I mean, he's sick right now, but he's like, man, you need anything? I was like, no, man, look, you just worry about getting well. Don't don't worry about the show. We will be fine. You just concentrate on getting well.
Nice. Nice. Um, do you have a video on the show, whether it's a live stream or something else you've created that you're most proud of?
Absolutely. The mental health awareness stream that I did back in September, that's what really catapulted me up to where I was being noticed by a lot more channels because like you said, when you get typecast as a particular channel, people will say, "Oh, well, you're just about gaming. Okay, just turn around and walk away." But when I did that, they seen another side of me that normally I don't show on my shows, and it was a lot of touchy subjects. People came up. I said, "Hey, anybody want to come up?" Several people came up, and that's what really truly put me on the map, so to speak, because I went from a gaming channel to like, wow, this guy really cares about people and what they go through. So yeah, definitely proud of that one the most.
Nice. And again, that's what I learned about you. One of the early times that I saw you was that,
Hmm.
you're not just a gaming channel. I'd seen your name and just thought, "Oh, I don't, there's so many gaming channels out there and I don't want to be subscribed to too many gaming channels." But
Hmm.
again, I love what you're doing. I appreciated that live stream as well. So I want to thank you for what you do and sharing the messages that you share related to that.
Thank you.
Um, Let me get back to my questions. What's your favorite thing about YouTube?
The ability to know people from all over the world, because in the real world, your reach only goes as far as, well, how far you can drive. Basically, if you don't have the means, you can't get on a plane and fly across the pond to the UK or to the Philippines or Japan, or get in a car for a long trip up to Canada or something. So with YouTube, you literally get to know and have friends from all over the world. I mean, my reach goes to the UK, it goes to the Philippines, it goes up into Canada, it goes just everywhere. And yeah, that is definitely because there are so many awesome people that I've met that I would have never met if I was just, sticking to, just being in the state that I am in. So
Sweet. What are your goals for the channel? Like, ultimately, where would you like to take it?
actually, and this might sound kind of weird. I'm good where I'm at. I don't.
Sweet.
I mean, of course, everybody wants to get monetized after a while. That's a normal goal for everybody. But I really don't care about that per se. I just want to let people know, those people that have fallen down that dark hole and they don't think there's nobody there for them to talk to. I'm good right there because money isn't everything. Yes, of course, we need money to survive and everything. But when you have somebody that's down that hole, they don't think they can get out. I want to be that hand that's right there. It's like, hey, look, I got you. And I got a awesome community behind me to back me up with that. So that's all I truly want.
Sweet. And you know what? That attitude, I think, is what's going to help you continue to grow, because that's going to help you focus on the kind of content that's going to feed people, that's going to meet needs and offer healing and hope to people. And I think it'll just be a byproduct. You'll just see that because that's your focus, you're going to continue to touch people and bring people in that need to hear what it is you're sharing.
Yeah.
Are you on other social media? I
I
know I've been messaging you at Facebook, so I know you're there.
yeah, I'm also on Twitter. At Fat Ninja. I know very creative name. At Fat Ninja on Twitter, and like you said, Facebook. I am on Instagram, but just for the simple fact of just sharing the show out before I go live. That's all I really use it for. But I am on Instagram also.
Okay, and it's Fat Ninja everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any projects or ideas going on for the show right now, or for the channel, beyond
Uh,
what you're regularly doing? Anything new you're planning?
well, as of right now, I just want to keep everything as it is. Whenever I get a chance to hopefully get an actual like little room to myself, because right now you can't tell, of course, but I'm in my living room and
Okay.
I got my little ninjas running around back and forth tearing up stuff behind me. But hopefully at some point I'll be able to have like a dedicated space to where I can actually do some recordings, without having a whole bunch of noise. So, but yeah, for right now, just the 3 shows a week. Fat Ninja Game Talk Radio on Monday, where we talk about the stupidity of the gaming universe. And then, Wednesday is the way back throwback, where we talk about stuff from the 80s and 90s, whether it's comics, clothing, culture, whatever we want to talk about, from the past on Wednesdays. And Fridays, we've taken what we did on Saturday. We did that one pilot called the Retro Dojo. We did that on Saturday, and it was such a success. It was Pook playing some games and me just running my mouth and, talking about topics that the chat brought up. We decided to move that over to Friday, which would used to be called Freeform Friday.
Okay.
And so now that's just a retro dojo. So on Fridays, which is today, of course, Pook will be playing some retro games, and I'll be running my mouth, and people from the chat can ask us questions, and we'll try our best to answer them within reason, of course.
Okay. And I see David from Safe and Sound Texas Audio Excursion is in the chat. He'll be my guest for the second half of the show, but thanks for being here, David. So just to move on to now a little more fun stuff. Do you consider yourself more artistic or more analytical?
Um, really, to be honest, I consider myself neither. I think if I had to pick one, it's not artistic in the regular sense. It's artistic in the way that I talk to people, because anybody can talk a good game, but when you put your personality behind it, it takes on a whole different aspect. That's the reason why I truly think that I can reach so many people. For one, my faith. That's a big thing that I lean on heavily, and just having the gift of gab. As you can see from all my live streams, I have no problem being able to run my mouth. So I can definitely do that. So yeah, mixed with my faith and ability to speak to people, I guess you could say that would be kind of artistic in a
Yeah,
sense.
I think so. Definitely more than analytical. To me, analytical, there's not a lot of emotion or personality in it. So I
Yeah.
totally agree. And so now, if you were stranded on an island, what three things would you want to have with you?
Um, a endless supply of food.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
thinking.
I just
Yeah,
I
no
just
one
cheated.
said that yet.
Yeah. I just cheated the system right there. So, an endless supply of food, endless supply of water, and some form of gaming entertainment, because that is what I pretty much grew up with. Yes, I am the stereotypical black man. I played sports and all that other stuff. But as I got older, I started to branch off in other things. And one of the main things was gaming. I had my very first system I had was an Atari 2600. And ever since that day, I had been hooked. So I've been playing games like for a long, long time. And that is a big part of who I am.
Yeah, I've told people before, but if you've missed it somehow, I'm a gamer. I've been a gamer virtually my whole life as well.
Hmm.
I'm just old enough that there was a day when there were no gaming systems. That was not a thing. There were pinball machines and
Hmm.
the big stand-up arcade things. But my dad worked for J.C. Penney when he got out of the Air Force, and he brought home a Pong system when Pong first came out. So I know some of you are not old enough to have ever had a Pong. Maybe some of you don't even know what that is, but it is first gen. This is, OG
Right.
digital video gaming. But my sister and I had the best time with that. Just super simple, no graphics, nothing. We just thought it was the most amazing thing that ever happened.
Hmm.
And then as I got older, I spent a lot of time in the arcades. I was a Defender champ at the little gaming arcade not too far from where we lived, and then moved on to like the Nintendo. It was a big Mario, the original Mario games, and
Oh yeah.
Gradius 4, stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
So gaming does appeal to me. Um, do you follow sports still? Do you have favorite teams or favorite
Often,
sports?
off and on. My favorite football team right now is the Philadelphia Eagles. So fly, Eagles, fly. And unfortunately, I hate to say it, but I used to be a Buffalo Bills fan when they were in there during the '90s when they lost those four Super Bowls. I hate,
Ah,
I hate to admit it, but yeah, I used to be a Bills fan. But I'm slowly coming back. I really never just totally kicked them off the wagon completely. So yeah, Philadelphia Eagles and the Buffalo Bills are my two football teams.
okay. And what sports did you play back in the day when you were an athlete?
Um, Oddly enough, I used to be actually a very good athlete. I mean, you can't tell now, but um, I used to play basketball and football, but I was too dang stubborn to be coached. So my career that should have been was never because I was just being too stubborn. But loved basketball and football. I was a lot better at basketball than football, but yeah, those were two definitely my loves when I was able to play sports.
Yes, yeah, same here. So back in the day, can't tell by looking now, I was pretty good at like gymnastics
Mm.
and was pretty fast track stuff, but life got in the way of that for sure. And I was always a little more nerdy growing up. I was really into math and science, and uh, I guess, I mean, I feel like I'm really artistic, but I'm also very analytical.
Mhm.
And so I did not devote the kind of time to sports or athletics that, I
Right.
guess I could have. But I've lived vicariously through some grandchildren now that are very gifted
There you go.
athletically. So let me see what else I have on my question here. And Chad, I'll go ahead and open it. If you guys have questions for Daryl, put them in the chat if you've got any questions. Um, do you have any pets?
Yes, I have two pets. I have a Chinese powder puff crescent and a little super energetic, overly talkative Chihuahua that I can't stand most of the day because it's my oldest kid's dog, and I most of the time it's always barking for no reason.
So
But
the little
yeah,
ninjas that you referenced that were running around behind you, I take it those are human children.
yes, yes.
How many of those do you have, and how old are they?
Got three. The oldest is 14. Yes, pray for me. He's 14, and 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 we got a 5-year old and a 3-year old.
So does the 14-year-old though help with the younger ones?
Oh yeah, he's a huge help.
Okay.
Changing diapers and getting them food when I'm either I'm like doing this or I'm just too busy or I'm just being flat out lazy. He steps up and no, my oldest kid, he's super helpful. I mean, he's a brat. I wanna I
He's
wanna
just 14. Not
right,
even
right.
bratty. He's just being a 14-year-old.
Right, and I mean, when I want to strangle the hell out of him, I know I can't do it because it's like, you know what? You used to be the exact same way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That thing that all moms wish that one day their kids will grow up and have kids just like they were.
Hmm. Yep.
Yeah. You talked about having. If I have a moderator in the
I already
chat,
got
let
rid
me.
of him. I already
Okay.
got rid of him already.
All right. So you talked about having a dedicated space to do, your recordings and such. I
Hmm.
dream about that too. I don't know if you guys in the chat can hear in the background. You hear Yancey's turtle tank. You hear the filters, the water running from her turtle
Yep.
tank. And then Richard came home from work. The most recent cover that I put up, I had left the dark um, sheet over the shower curtain because that's where I record my songs. Is in the bathroom.
Hmm.
And he came home and said, "What is that sheet doing hanging in the bathroom?" And I said, "I was recording in there earlier." And he didn't realize that that's where I record that's where I record those videos. So let me get back to my questions. Do you watch much TV? Do you have a favorite TV show or TV or movie?
I watch a lot of different stuff. I don't have anything that's a fit. What? No, I take that back. The Rookie. Me and my wife, we both love watching that together, and the old seasons of FBI. So love that one too. Other than that, I just basically whatever I feel like watching. If I get a hankering to watch a food show or another detective show, just whatever strikes me at that moment.
Okay. So before I turn you loose again, I want to see if anyone in chat has any questions for you. But if there's one thing, if there was just one thing that your viewers, people that visit your channel, knew about you, what would you want it to be?
Um, I ultimately believe in integrity because if you don't have integrity, like we were talking about earlier, Kathy, if you are fake, people will see right through it. I mean, yeah, there are a lot of dumb people out there that can't see that, but most of us are very intelligent. And if you are not totally transparent with your audience, they will leave you in droves. So, whatever I say, that means I mean it. And when I shout people out, you know, if I don't say it, that means I don't mean it. But if I do say it, I absolutely mean it. So, that's the main thing. Everybody should know when I speak, I'm speaking the truth because there's no reason to lie because eventually people will find out anyway.
Yeah.
So, yep, absolutely. God know me for my integrity.
Nice. And is there an organization in particular or a handful of organizations in particular that you support, that you encourage other people to support as far as mental health awareness or assistance or
No, I believe everybody has to find their own way, and I just want to be that gateway. So, like, if people got issues and they don't feel like talking to a therapist or talking to somebody official, hey, I always have a listening ear, and I got big shoulders, I can shoulder a lot, because like a lot of times people don't even know what I go through because I have this brave face that I always put on because I feel like people have to be strong because this world is getting weaker and weaker by the day. So we need people to stand up on the front line and be able to speak for those people that are, you know, they're scared or they don't have a voice. There needs to be people right there front and center to, fight on that good fight, even though in the overall picture, it tends to be a losing battle. But God put me on this mission, and until He takes the breath out of my body, I'm not gonna stop.
I
Period.
love it. I love it. And I want you guys to know that about him too. So, uh, again, I take the time before I invite anyone on the show to at least learn as much as I can about them. I want to know who they are. I want to know what they're going to offer when we sit down and do little chats. And I want to know that the people that do take time to come to my live streams are going to be blessed somehow by what's shared during the show. And so I just want to thank you for what you're doing and for what I happened to see that first time I saw you. I think again it was on Shane's, one of Shane's coffee shop streams,
Yeah,
and thought, wow, yeah, this is what YouTube needs to be about. This,
absolutely.
what a great way to connect with people and turn some lemons into lemonade. So um, I'm looking to see if anybody's got questions for you. Do you have questions? You got any questions for me? You have any questions for anyone you see in the chat?
No, not really. I do want to say sounds. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Integrity is a big part of who I am because if y'all would have met me about say 15, 20 years ago, y'all been like, man, no, this Daryl guy, he's a freaking a-hole. I don't want nothing to do with this guy because I was that dude, like the dude that you see out in public that's acting so stupid that you don't want to go in there and punch him in the mouth. That's who I used to be. And it took a I like to say I took the scenic route to get to where I am now. It took me almost clinically being dead twice to finally get my spiritual head out of my butt, so to speak. Because you know how people they go their whole entire life not knowing you know what good things they have in their life, they just throw it away, and they're always wanting it, but they never know that that's right there. I used to be that person, and like I said, it took me almost dying two separate times for me to realize that. And I want to be, that person to be, inspirational. Like, hey, look, it doesn't matter how bad it is. There's always a brighter day ahead. But I also want to be a cautionary tale too. It's like, hey, look, don't do what I did. Don't take that scenic route. If you got a window to look out of, just look out that window. You don't have to crash through it. Just open it up and look out there, and hopefully you'll see something that you can start heading toward. So,
What a great message. And I feel like a lot of times we do sometimes have to test out both extremes to find the middle.
mhm,
I think sometimes the impact you can have and the message you can share is even more powerful when you do come from a place that's so opposite of where you might be now because of
mhm.
what you've learned from being on the other end of it. So I appreciate you. I respect you. I'm glad for you, and I'm happy that I met you here at YouTube. I thank you for being on the show today, and you'll be on my little spreadsheet, so I'm gonna keep tracking your numbers. And even if you're happy where you are now, I just think you have a lot of growth to come, because as more people meet you and learn what it is you do and who you are, it's just going to naturally happen that they're going to want to be a part of it. So I thank you for that. And uh, so Adam is asking if you are a religious man.
Yeah,
Uh,
see, man.
Also, do you make lemonade too then? Because he has a lemon tree for sale.
I really don't consider myself a religious man. I do believe in God. I do believe in a higher power and all that, but I just apply it in the real world the way I see fit. Just treat everybody kind, treat people with respect, talk to them with respect, and as long as you do that, people should, and that's the key word, should be cool with you. Of course, there's people that are not going to be cool with you, regardless if it's the color of your skin, the clothes you wear, how you talk, whatever. There's going to be some trials and tribulations that you go through. But with that being said, though, with the integrity and the people that I talk to, the community that I've built, I can't be stopped because, for one, my faith, and two, my community. And, that's an awesome, awesome position to be in, you
It
know.
is.
So,
It is. Well, I appreciate you. and I support you, and I thank you for who you are and what you are doing with your opportunity here on this platform.
Thank you so much. That
Right?
that truly means a lot to me. My people here in the chat. Like I said before, I appreciate all y'all. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter how much money you make. And I always say on my show, I don't care if you stay there for a minute or the whole show. You are just as appreciated either or. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because all y'all make me who I am. Y'all all craft the channel that I have. And y'all also a part of the awesome community. Because I don't like to say subscribers. I hate
Yeah.
that word.
Yeah.
Y'all my family. You know, you know,
Sweet.
we're them bad tail kids that put our feet up on the coffee table after grandma says, "Don't put your feet on that coffee table." And as
Yeah.
soon as she walks out of the room, all of our feet up on the coffee
That's what
table.
friends are for. Yep. Yep.
Yep, yep.
Well, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to get David up here. We're going to pick his brain as well. But much love to you. I hope you have a great weekend. You're staying safe and warm. And I'll be visiting the channel.
All right, cool.
Thanks,
Thank you
Daryl.
very much again. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So, right quick, I do want to spin for our channel of the week. Just have to give out major kudos to Daryl for being a part of the show today, and really, really want to encourage you guys to check out his channel. What you saw today is what you're going to get there. I want to say hello also to Nancy at Our Treasured Home. I don't know if I missed anyone else coming in. If I've missed you, I'm so sorry. I do like to greet people as they come in. I'm always thankful for everybody that stops by. And I'm going to take myself off because I just wanted to make sure you guys saw this backdrop that I created for us. I tried to do something this time. I haven't thought to do that before now, to actually create something that ties in who my guest or guests are going to be. But I hope you guys feel like it did you justice. So I want to spin right quick for channel of the week. Let me pull that up. Share my screen right quick. And then David, I'm going to bring you up here in just a second. This only takes a little bit. Again, the purpose of channel of the week is just to maybe introduce you to a channel that's new to you and let you get a little peek into the kind of channels that I enjoy. So let's spin and see who comes up this week. Grain-free Homestead. All right. Oops, yep, I'm back. So Grain-free Homestead, I'll get them added to the little spreadsheet. Let me write that down. I think the channel name pretty much tells you what they're about. So there's a new one to check out if you are homesteaders and fans of the homesteading channels. Let me bring up my next guest now, David at Safe and Sound Texas Audio Excursion. And I am assuming you are in Texas.
I am. I'm outside Dallas.
Okay, so another neighbor here, guys. Obviously, odds are good when you live in a state this big that you're going to meet a lot of people in various places that might also be from Texas. Nancy, did I say hi to you already? If I didn't, hello, Nancy. Nancy was a guest last week on the show, so still want to encourage you guys to check out her channel. And how are you today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm good. And so I know you're having the same weather we're having. If you're just down the road from us,
Yep.
We have the first fire of the fireplace happening right now. Richard's been cutting firewood for like the last 4 weekends. So we have a nice batch of homegrown firewood to use. And I've just been waiting for it to get cool enough because I could have a fire every night. All year long. Yep. I just love, there's something really relaxing about a fire in the fireplace. And I like it, but he gives me a hard time. So, but I'm excited just because there's a fire in the fireplace. I'm not excited because it's cold, because I'm not a fan of the cold, wet stuff. The flock loves it. I'll tell you now, guys, the flock is having the time of their lives today out in this mess. So they're making lemonade out of these lemons too. But I like to go through a little list of questions.
Sure.
And then we'll open. I'll just go ahead and invite you guys in the chat. If you already have some questions as I'm talking to David, if questions are forming that you want to ask him, go ahead and put them in the chat. I'll try to keep an eye on it. It does help if you want to put some kind of an emoji, something that might stand out for me as I'm skimming so that I don't miss something. But I will start with just my standard questions for you. And I also do want to thank you for being here on the show today. This is really exciting.
You're welcome.
And I want to tell you guys that I met David because she is a real life friend. He is a real life friend of my friend, Dr. Lund at Psychology Noir with Dr. Lund, who was in the chat. I'm not sure she's still in the chat. I don't know if I've seen another comment from her in a while, but she's the one who told me about David and his channel. So on her recommendation, I had to check it out. I am a music nerd, a musician, a singer, a pianist, and so have definitely enjoyed some of the kind of nuts and bolts stuff that you share on the channel, just about the world of music. So there she is. Yes, she's still here.
There she
so
is.
My first question, I always start with, what motivated you to start a YouTube channel?
Well, the motivation came, there's a group I was on Facebook, a community of people that buy records and have I guess you would call it auctions, things like that. So I was able to get to spend some time with the audience as well, not just talking about what I was selling, but also, about music and about records and my history, and realize there's a lot of people out there who don't know near as much as I do. I've been collecting records since I was like 7 years old in 1963. So, I've been doing it a long time. So really just, to help guide people. And I said, well, YouTube might be a good vehicle for that. So since I'm semi-retired, I figured why not give it a shot. So I launched my channel March 1st of this year.
Oh, it's a new channel.
More or less.
You are tearing it up then. You are blowing and going and growing to be young. If that doesn't tell you that he's got a good thing going here and that there's a lot to be enjoyed at his channel, I don't know what would. So I hope you guys are taking notes here. What's your favorite part of YouTube?
I think the fact that you can do so much with so little these days, technology wise. It used to take a lot of money and equipment and things to do anything. You couldn't broadcast unless you had a license. I mean, I was in radio, so I know a lot of those kind of pitfalls. So just the ability, but it's like anything else in life. It has its pros and its cons, and you have to be very careful about your sensibilities, because there are some people on YouTube occasionally that can get under your skin if you let them. But on the positive side, you can reach so many people and help so many people, not make bad decisions, in my case, about buying equipment or about buying certain records, and just get to share basically, a common theme of something you really enjoy.
I've the first question from Adam Sky. Oh, I always forget. You guys need to remind me that I can put these on.
Yes, you could highlight them.
Yeah. So, David, have you ever been to Liverpool?
I have not, but I definitely will be going. It's on my bucket list. I do go to. I'm going to be in Europe this December for work, so I'm going to try to get there next year. That's on my plan for next year. So, but I haven't been there yet. That's obviously a perfect place to go, considering my love of the Beatles.
So, and I have to tell you guys too, it was not necessarily last minute that I got David scheduled on the show, but after I first reached out, I was booked out. I'm booked out so far. And I mean, I often will have 2 guests on the show, so that's not unusual, but I hadn't scheduled a second guest for today initially. And so I was looking at December dates for David until he reminded me that he's going to be out of the country. And I thought, well, you know what? I've only got the one guest for today, so let's just sneak him in before he goes.
Appreciate it.
And Adam says he's already subbed, so I'd love to think you're going to come back for your trip now and just have a whole new batch of family members waiting for
Great.
you to get back to business there in your little studio.
Sure.
And I just have to throw it in too that I'm a huge Beatles fan as well. When I was growing up, so my mother was the Beatles and Elvis Presley. Everything was about the Beatles and Elvis Presley. She was in love with both of them. We didn't even have a TV in my house until I was almost 8 years old, but we had a big stereo phonograph, one of those big console things.
Sure.
There was always music. The only time I don't remember music playing in my house was when we were sleeping. There was always music playing. And so I grew up with, again, Beatles and Elvis Presley were a given, but Jerry Vale and Perry Como and, some of those classic early 60s singers, and really, really just could not help but to grow up and have a love of everything related to music because of that. So do you have a most precious vinyl record of your collection? I'm sure it's hard to narrow it down, but
well, this is the first Beatles 45 I bought, and that's my original that I bought in 64, early 64, and it's still in wonderful condition. So this kind of always is a reminder. You could see that the orange and yellow swirling on the turntable at 45 RPM, and it's so nostalgic, just such most Beatle records, I know the number on them, like 5112. I know the number on these. I have them memorized. I used to stare at the turntable so much.
I've kicked myself many, many times over the years. 2 reasons. My sister and I had original Barbie dolls that we sold in a garage sale one time when our family had a garage sale, just because we wanted the money for them. And I think, man, what would those be worth today? And then records, 45s and 33s, just stuff that I've just sold over the years because, I don't know, just for whatever reason. And then realize, decades later, golly, if I still had that, wow, I could have retired already just by selling that one record. So, Adam's got lemons he'll trade for that.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, I never got rid of any of my records all through the years. So
nice. Well, that just proves you really are a collector. I've never been a record collector. So I'm sure
I used to wear them out. I used to buy doubles, so I have some that are still sealed even because
nice.
Like $2.99 stickers on them.
Nice. Does anyone help you with the channel recording, editing?
Nope.
Okay. And do you have a studio? Or are you also in a living room? Or
no, I have a media room. Yeah, I have a media room, and these are there's records behind here.
Okay.
Actually, so these are I just inserted those in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and what do you think of this backdrop thing that I created?
It's very nice. It's interesting.
And do you know? Because I didn't know. Like this record that's up in the way. I don't know how to talk. That colorful thing.
Yes.
Do you know what that is?
No.
I think it's Led Zeppelin. I think it's a Led Zeppelin thing. I was just looking for images of vinyl LPs. I thought, I want to overlay a couple of LPs on here.
Upper right, is it?
The real colorful.
Yeah. That's
that real colorful one up there. And I just thought, oh wow, that is really awesome looking. It's an album, I guess. So I think
Led Zeppelin 3. Led Zeppelin 3, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought, maybe David will know what more of this stuff is than I do even. Do you have a favorite video on your channel? Something that's your favorite that you've created and uploaded?
I guess I have to say where my channel kind of took off was episode 21. And the reason for it was it became a little bit of a scandal in the vinyl community, as we call it, the VC, because records are now called vinyl, where this company that makes really high-end audiophile records and charges more their claim to fame has always been that they made the records from the original tapes. In other words, no digital involved. And it came to find out that actually starting in the 2000s, early 2000s, they were introducing digital, but never told anybody. And so this became quite a scandal, and I jumped on that pretty quickly because I had a lot of history buying their things. So that video kind of to me was where I got kind of a marker in the community of presence and background and competence, I'd say. So for me, that's kind of the one that really cemented things.
And how long ago was that episode?
That was in July. It was in mid to latter July.
Okay. So when you started the channel, did you anticipate that it would grow as fast as it's grown?
No, my goal was to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And I got to 1,000 subscribers by the end of July.
Uh-huh.
So that one thing really, because of the controversy and all, it just got a lot of airplay.
So what is and you can name more than one thing, but what do you keep in mind when you're going to create something, when you're planning your next video? What do you keep in the back of your mind as far as coming up with ideas for what you're going to upload?
If I was looking for something to watch, what would it be and why would I want to watch it?
Okay.
Some things come some are planned very, I've done some live. I've actually gone to a record pressing plant and interviewed the owner, and, some are very well planned out. Some are dynamic. I dropped one last night because this company that had that issue I just mentioned, Mobile Fidelity, they came out with a bunch of new releases that they're going to be putting out next year. And so I went through them and made my viewers aware of what was coming. So that one was kind of more on the fly. But typically I'm trying to, in many cases, solve a problem. What's the problem? Someone doesn't know something that's coming, or someone hears something's really great and it's overhyped, and I want to kind of give them the good, the bad, and the ugly kind of a thing. That's kind of where I come from.
So change directions here. Outside of music, what is your background, like career-wise? And
yeah, I have a very varied career, but ironically, this is very ironic. You talked about your dad working for JCPenney and getting you a Pong game. Well, my first job I worked at when I left college, I went to Florida, and I worked for a company that was under contract with NASA. Yeah, I lived in Melbourne, Florida. And at the JCPenney there, I bought a Pong, believe it or not. And because I used to remember they had MCS audio equipment. I used to buy their audio equipment too at JCPenney. But I remember that. So I started kind of in manufacturing, and computer programming and manufacturing is where I started. And so I've had, my career's kind of taken me through working for manufacturing companies and working for technology, IT departments. And then I've gotten into areas like quality, safety is where last part in my career was actually safety. And now I'm working on behavioral safety is what I do. I just gave a talk at a conference in Orlando on Tuesday on behavioral safety. So that's what I do kind of. That's why I have safe and sound. I have the safety side. Okay. And then the sound side is my hobby.
Oh, nice. Okay. I wouldn't even have thought to ask you about the channel name. So do you consider yourself more artistic or analytical?
Well, most of my friends would say I'm analytical because the first four letters are anal, but I'm not. Yeah, what are friends for? I'm kind of artistic on like videography side, on doing video and editing, and on that side I have that, and mixing music and that, but not creating music per se. Okay. I do drumming. I've known how to play the drums and the organ, but I don't play much. But but I'd say I probably a little more analytical than I am artistic.
Okay. And then I wanted to put up this comment from Dancing Along with Reynolds. Can you see it?
Yep.
So
First one is after,
that sounds like a pretty good thing for somebody's collection.
Sure. Yeah, exactly.
But
Definitely.
he's then also saying maybe he should insure it.
Well, there's a it's an app and it's a website called Discogs, DISCOGS. Discogs is an app or .com, and you can look up the record. I mean, to where you can look in the actual dead wax where the label ends there, and it's written, it's etched in actual codes. You could actually look up records down to the pressing plant.
Oh,
And
wow.
that will tell you whether that copy is worth anything, that version.
Sweet. You guys, break out your albums and start looking some stuff up, guys.
Yeah, you can register your albums there. You can put them, add it to your collection, so you can actually have your database of all your collection in there.
Nice.
For
and
free.
then Adam's first album was Bruce Springsteen, The River, and he got him to sign it 15 years later. You'd save that before your wife, huh?
Oh,
does she watch my streams, Adam? Yeah. No more shepherd's pie for you, or no more cottage pie for you.
No. I guess we know who.
Man.
I guess she's not the boss.
Yeah, priorities. Yeah. Oh yeah, bada bing. Yeah, where's that drum set? You got a drum set?
Yeah. No.
So back to YouTube related stuff. If you could partner with another YouTuber, like do a collab, do a live stream together or whatever, create something together with another YouTuber, is there one, and who would it be?
There's a gentleman called, his channel's called Concert Buddy, and Buddie, and he and I are have kind of a good rapport, I'd say, and I am going to be I do some live feeds now. I do some lives, but I don't bring people up. But I'm going to start bringing people up because there's a channel called Rachel's Ghost, which is a big vinyl community channel. She streams literally every morning, every day of the week, and a lot of different people come up on that. But the guy named Chance, who is Concert Buddy, I'd say he would be a good guy to collaborate with, because he's not controversial. He's level-headed.
Sweet. So what is that? Oh wait, I was going to click the concert. Yeah, I do watch Rick Beato. He just dropped a new video today about him being on a TV show that I didn't know about, The Talking Dead. I didn't know that was a show. But let's see. So this was the comment I was going to put up because I missed it. Did you ask me a question, Adam, earlier? I mean, I think a lot of things. Are we just supposed to go into what do I think? I mean, I think The X-Files is the best show that ever was on TV. You didn't already know that. So if you have a question again, you can type it down there and I'll answer it. So Adam says, before you say it, David, I'm too busy, mate. So, okay, let me get back to some questions here. And again, you guys, if you've got questions, start putting them in the chat for me.
See, I wouldn't mind doing one with Vicky at all, but I know she's a little shy. So,
yeah, and I've already told her I really would love to see her do more live streams. And I think her content, she could do like a Q&A live stream with people. I just think the stuff that she can offer, I mean, it's real life stuff. And I know a lot of us know or have known people that we just might shake our heads a lot because we don't understand what's going on with them. So
she's getting out there. I give her credit. It takes
and again, I'm loving seeing new stuff.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. So I'm wondering what I think about whether or not his wife watches the show. I'm thinking she's not watching, Adam, which is probably why you could really say whatever and she'd never know. So I won't say anything.
No,
your secret's safe with me.
Absolutely.
And if I see you on the news and there's been a horrible house fire and you've got that album in your hands, but you don't know where your wife is, then I'm just going to know nothing. I'll know nothing. So yes, Adam would also like to see Dr. Lund do a live. So that'd be fun. You guys could come up with I don't know, she could do psychology. Y'all could pick some songs or some music or an album and maybe talk about the emotional elements behind it or some of the.
Yeah, I did a video on our emotional response to music and
Uh-huh.
why it affects us. Why can we remember the words to a song 30 years ago and we don't know where we left our keys 2 minutes ago? So I did do an
Yep.
actual episode on that, and that is one of my favorite episodes, independent of the one that got me really going.
Sweet. So I shared on one of my live streams, maybe more than one, that among the jobs I've had in my life, I was a community relations director at a retirement facility and assisted nursing, or rather assisted living facility in Fort Worth years and years ago.
Okay.
And part of what I had, scheduled routinely for residents was a music therapist who came in once a week. And we had residents who they didn't know their names. They didn't know any of their family members when they would come to visit. They couldn't remember to eat or take their medicine, but the music therapist would come in and start playing music from, 40 years before, and they knew every word, they knew every beat, and you could just see the complete change in energy level and demeanor, and it just blew me away to see again how music speaks to us and how it stays with us and how it can turn things around. So, okay, I got another X-Files fan in the audience. Woohoo! All right, so I think I saw on your channel you'd like to hit 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year now. I know you said initially your goal was to hit 1,000.
Right.
But since you're over that now, I would love to see that happen for you also. Hint, hint, hint to anyone watching my stream now. Please go and check out David at Safe and Sound Texas Audio Excursion. Watch a couple of videos. It's always important that you watch a couple of videos before you subscribe so that YouTube knows you're a real human living, breathing entity and not a robot or some paid
That's a great point.
thing that is just subscribing because I don't know. I don't even understand the purpose of that. I guess it's weird to me. I've had some shorts that have just absolutely blown up. Like within 15 minutes of posting my short, it's got 8,000 views, but then 500 of them disappear. And I've learned that it's because there are bots that I guess go and I don't know. Again, I don't understand the point of that. But to each his own. So just that little reminder too, to always watch a video or two that's at least 3 minutes long, each video, before you subscribe, and then periodically go back and check in again. Leave some comments, like the videos, and that way it'll stick and you will remain a member of the family, so to speak. So back to my questions, though. So goals for the channel. So I know that the 2,000 by the end of the year is a goal. Do you have other goals, something you want to branch out into maybe? Or again, you talked about maybe doing live streams where you bring people.
Yeah, I'd like to help some other people who maybe are on the fence about starting a channel, to help them as well to get started, and how to do it, whether it's the technology side or the, we can't all have the capability with the mobile phone like Vicky does. She does everything through her mobile phone. I don't even know how you can do that. It just, but it is it's that's the point. There's so many different ways you can skin the cat, so to speak. So I'd like to help some people in that regard. So that's really the bigger objective for me, is to have good community, like previous guest was talking about community versus subscribers. I think that's a great point. Because I've had that discussion with people about, I don't want 2,000 if half of them are going to be, I say junk, you know what I mean?
Not engaged, yeah.
Right, not engaged. So to me, it's the number is just a number. So I really, the quality of it is really important to me. That's really what I'm going for, is to have quality interactions, provide quality content and feedback. And the live streams are really a new dimension for me. It opens up a whole new way of interacting with people.
Oh yeah.
And so I really have enjoyed those a lot. And the other thing is it takes a little pressure off having to do videos because they take time.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And so you can put that up there and you have that content up there.
Yeah.
And so it also helps in that regard.
Yeah. So yeah, that leads me to my next question. How many cats have you skinned in your life? No, not really.
No.
Not really. That's not really on my list.
Considering how allergic I am to them, I would probably skin every one of them.
Ooh, lucky cats. No, that really was not
yeah.
on my list. I just
know.
thought, that's right. More than one way to skin a cat. But neither of us has ever skinned a cat. So
No,
we'll just have to go by what the experts say.
I guess.
Do you have a new idea in the works? You got anything you're going to be trying for the first time coming up soon beyond what you've already shared that you'd like to start doing?
I've got a couple of things that I have been toying with a bit, and one of them is really may sound odd, but everybody focuses, of course, in vinyl community, especially with when you play records, they're looking at which pressing sounds better than the other because they can sound different. But there's a thing that occurs in records that doesn't occur in CDs, and it's called surface noise. Right. And that's the noise you hear before the song starts and in between the tracks.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to be adding to, I think, some of my videos about reviews and things is, and I did it on one already as a test, is to grade the surface noise A through F. How bad is it? Because I think a lot of times it can be pretty distracting when you buy a new record and you start to play it and all you hear this, you can hear the groove. To me, that's just like counterintuitive. So as technologies have gotten better, it should be that they should be less noisy. But there are certain pressing plants and certain formulas that are used that are just cheap. They're just, you never know it when you look at it because it's like, the same price, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So really trying to make that a little more evident because records are, the prices have gone up quite a bit in the last few years, 25 to 30%. So, it's a matter of spending your money wisely.
So that's making me think for some reason I have an okay Elton John album collection. I will say that. I'm a huge Elton John fan. Not as much after about 1990, but the first album I ever bought for myself was Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. When it came out with my own money, I was, like 11 or 12 years old at the time. I was born in 62. And I don't still have the original one because I played the daylights out of the albums that I had, and I've replaced them over time. But it's funny that I can be listening on the rare occasions that I actually break out. I mean, we've got a real neat little retro looking phonograph that we bought at an estate sale, and it works great. And I've got a couple of those albums that I'll put them on and play them. And the little places that used to be scratched and they would repeat and repeat, my brain still anticipates that.
Exactly.
Or that weird sound, that little warp thing, whatever. My brain will still anticipate that sound. Even all these years later, even after having heard the newer albums now that don't have those defects. And I like that. I mean, and I've never had an album where I felt like I was distracted by, I've always called it crackling, just the sounds that you can hear on a vinyl record.
Right.
For the most part, I like that. There's something so nostalgic about that for me, and it really takes me back to when I first fell in love with whatever the album is I might be listening to hear those sounds. It just seems so much more real to me. I mean, I love now. I guess I'm very visually oriented. I'm very, auditorily, if that's the word, oriented as well. And so I love the crisp, clean digital stuff that can come out now. But there's just a great nostalgia for me that comes from the older sounds. I think part of why I love old time radio, especially the old time radio where the files still have the original commercials and jingles and because it just transports me back to a time when I first discovered that and first fell in love with it. And it's so much more real because it's not so clean. It's not so artificial sounding because it's so technically perfect.
Sterile, yeah.
Let's see. Here's a little question, a little comment from Dancing Alone with Friends. They say lives are going in growing popularity. Huh, interesting. Again, I just agree with you that I think it's just an incredible way doing live streams to connect with people real time, have genuine interactions. I mean, some people create videos that still anticipate viewers' questions or concerns well enough that they might address it in the video, but there's something really, really powerful and gratifying about having a conversation, or at least feeling like you're having more of a conversation with someone by doing live streams. So I do want to see you do more of those. I still hint want to see Dr. Lund do more of those. And she's asking me to ask you about your time as a DJ, whether or not you liked it. But yeah, tell us about that part of your history.
So I did some DJing in college. And that was fun. It's really funny in college that the radio stations for the college are not listened to by a lot of people, but it never failed that the kids on campus who were drunk were listening to it at night. And you'd get somebody that call in and request something, and if you didn't play it, they go, "Play that Led Zeppelin song, or I'm going to kill you." It's like, whoa, So, but mainstream radio in Chicago at an oldie station, FM oldie station, was really interesting. Interviewed a lot of groups. I mean, when I was in Chicago, and this is in the 77, 78, 79, that time frame, back in that time frame in Chicago, the local people were Jane Pauley, Bryant Gumbel. I mean, these were the local people. So whenever you did anything with the station that was maybe something to do with a public affairs thing, or even the Jerry Lewis Telethon or whatever it was, all these people were around. But probably the most exciting thing in radio was interviewing the group Chicago, who I love. And that was really, really cool. But to me, the most exhilarating part of radio was trying to find a song long enough so you could use the restroom. That always was
real world problems. Yeah.
Real world problem. Okay, I got to put on Hey Jude. 7 minutes, 11 seconds, go.
Yeah.
So that's the reaction. I mean, we literally.
Yeah, that's like 4 minutes of the song. Right?
Exactly. Right. But you never could quite tell when it was really going to be done.
Right.
Jude, wow. So, but yeah, so that was because we were actually spinning physical records at that time, still. So, yeah, and if they skipped, you were screwed. Oh my gosh, you weren't in the studio when they skipped. You were in big trouble.
Well, that people would for sure know you were in the bathroom then.
Yeah, right, exactly. Well,
yeah, my dad was a DJ. He was stationed in Greenland for a while when he was in the Air Force, and he was the bass DJ there. And I don't know where the old reel-to-reel. There were reel-to-reel tapes of some of those. Things that, as a kid, I just thought it was awesome. Oh my gosh, that's my dad.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
And so I don't know where any of that has gone. But it's funny because I don't usually think of my dad being as involved in music. I think he sang in choir and stuff in high school, and my mother was very musically inclined. But I think my dad was, as big a music fan for sure as my mom was. And I think the DJing in the service was just right up his alley. And I just remember, again, I couldn't even believe it was my dad. He was just so smooth at the way he talked and introduced the songs, and he knew about the artists and stuff. So that's a neat little DJ connection there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Adam says Bohemian Rhapsody is a great toilet record for sure. Yeah.
That's one. Yeah. You can get, you can do a pretty good, decent time with that. Yeah. 5 minutes.
Uh-huh. All right. Let me get back to my questions here. Are you on other social media?
No.
Okay. What are
I
the
mean,
three things?
I'm on Facebook personally, but I mean, my channel
Not your
isn't on
channel.
anything
Okay.
else. Yeah. Yeah.
What are three things you would take with you on an island if you had to be stuck on an island?
I would take Barbara Eden. That way I could get any wish I wanted and I wouldn't need the other two.
You're on the lookout for that bottle, that genie
Mhm.
bottle when
Mhm.
you're out
Mhm.
antiquing.
Yeah, I mean, what? Yeah, why mess around? I don't know why I have to do all the other stuff. That's it.
That's true, right? Oh my gosh, you're a forward thinker for sure. Do you watch much TV? Do you you have a favorite TV show?
My favorite TV show of a show that's on, active now is Blue Bloods.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my favorite TV show. I don't watch a
Not
lot of
the
TV.
X-Files?
Not the the X-Files, is that currently on now? Or okay, I
No,
didn't think so.
they revived it for a few seasons, years and years after it ended, but I didn't like those as much. I liked the older first 2 or 3 seasons.
Was Gillian Anderson in those original ones?
Uh-huh.
Okay, now have you ever seen a thing called The Fall? I think she was in.
Oh yeah.
I love that.
Oh,
Yeah,
I do too.
yeah.
Well,
I
I'm
love a lot
a
of
huge fan
British.
of those British crime
too.
dramas and
Me
stuff.
too.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of
binge,
those.
binge. I think the first one of those British crime shows I ever came across back when we had a Netflix subscription was Midsummer Murders.
Right, sure.
Love those. That's just a great binge thing even for me. But from there, once I made my way through all of the seasons at the time, then I was just hungry for more of the British crime shows. So there's a whole long list of that stuff that I love it.
Yeah, me too.
They'll never be gone. Adam, they'll never be gone. And David Duchovny's one of those people that, he could make a movie where he's just sitting for 2 hours and maybe he drinks a glass of water, or maybe I don't know, if I'm real lucky, he'll brush his teeth or something, and I would still enjoy watching the movie. So, yeah, I don't know what it is about him. He seems very nerdy to me. I think that's part of what I like. He just seems very, very nerdy. And obviously that's an appeal of mine. But let's see. Do you have any pets?
I do. I have a poodle named Lila.
Okay. Standard poodle?
No,
Like
she's
big?
not very tall. No, smaller.
Okay.
Not miniature, but between miniature and standard, she was.
Okay. How old is she?
Pounds. She's 8.
Okay. You have a favorite food?
Wow. Chick-fil-A.
Okay. That works. Are you originally from Texas?
No, I grew up in Indiana, like Dr. Lund. I grew up in Gary, Indiana.
Okay.
So here's your fast facts. So the old Beatles albums on VJ that came out before Capitol, before they became big, this record company VJ was out of Gary, Indiana.
Oh, I didn't even know there was a record company there.
Yes, they the owners of that were started it out of Gary, and these were the first licensed Beatles songs to be done.
Okay, wow.
Okay, and then when they became popular in like June of '64, Capitol sued them to cease and desist. So,
are they still around?
Oh no, long gone.
Okay. They really did cease and desist then, didn't they?
Well, I mean, it's yeah.
Have you met? Go ahead.
I would say they actually discovered also the Four Seasons. Four Seasons were on that label first.
Okay, sweet. So, yes, he did. Adam Sky. He was in that movie. Yes, he was. I like that movie because he's in it. What else?
Did I ever meet what? You were going to say, did I ever meet?
Oh, yes. A famous musician.
Famous musician. Well, yeah, I've met.
Or maybe even not famous. I won't take that. Like musician.
I'm trying to think of somebody that people know. Michael W. Smith. I've met many times.
Oh yeah,
he's a Christian artist.
I saw him at. There used to be a Saturday night series that one of the big Baptist churches in Dallas did, and he came and did a show there one night.
Yeah, I wrote him a letter, and they responded. His personal assistant called me, and they wanted to use part of my letter for a quote to send out. And then he invited me I was living in Ohio. He invited me to Columbus to front row seat and to meet him and his family after. and I've met him several times. I was there at his ranch here last summer with my
Sweet.
daughter. So yeah,
Sweet.
so yeah.
Is there then a musician you'd like to meet that you haven't met, or that you've always wanted to meet that you haven't met?
Well, probably Paul McCartney, right?
Oh, wow. Okay. Nice. Nice.
Might as well go for the gusto.
Yeah. What's your favorite Beatles song? Or can we just maybe album? Well, I won't make you work that
Okay.
hard. Favorite album?
I think Abbey Road's my favorite.
Yes. Good answer. That's my favorite Beatles album. Yes. But since we narrowed that down, do you have a favorite song then?
Probably Something.
Okay. Nice. That's a George Harrison.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So who's your favorite Beatle?
Oh, that's a tough one. I'd probably say, based on my collection, it's got to be McCartney.
Okay. What's your favorite Wings album?
Wings. Well, that's not Wings. I was going to say Ram, but that's not really Wings.
Well, maybe I
Ram's my favorite McCartney album.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just looking down my list. I always have
Sure.
lots of questions that I've typed up, but they don't always pertain to everyone. And I don't.
Sure.
When I have two guests on the show, I don't create two different lists. Are you a reader? Do you like to read? And do you have a favorite author or a favorite book?
No, I'm not a big reader.
Okay.
That's
Do you
not.
cook?
Not much. No.
Okay. Let's see.
But I do eat.
Okay. Adam's putting in a plug for me. Oh, the Jackson 5 is from Gary, Indiana?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Sweet. And Dancing Along with Reynolds says there was a little known singer out of Gary, Indiana. But who is it? Oh, maybe that's part of the.
Maybe they meant Michael Jackson.
Maybe so, or maybe that's just part of the mystery there. Little known, meaning he doesn't know who it was.
And some great actors that came from Gary. Mark Harmon's dad, Tom Harmon, and Angie Harmon's dad. Carl Malden was from Gary, Indiana. He went to school with my parents.
Are Mark Harmon and Angie Harmon related?
I think so.
Oh my gosh! So that never even occurred to me.
Yeah.
I thought she was from Dallas. Is he from Dallas?
No, he's not. Well, I don't know. I know where his dad grew up. I'm not sure where he ended up, growing up at. I know his dad. I know it is because his dad went to school with my parents. So I don't know if they moved.
The world gets so small.
It does.
So Dancing Along with Reynolds, I don't know who this is. Why did the babies never make it? I'm suspicious that the personalities were not there.
Tom Waite and the babies. Well, they had some hits. They did have some hits. It's kind of like that genre of music moved so fast that very few caught, for very long. That music basically was like 2 or 3 singles and you were out pretty much.
So where do I know the name Tom Waite from? Why do I know that name?
Missing You, the song Missing You.
Okay, I was going to say, because it's not from the babies. I don't think I've ever heard of
that. No, you wouldn't have known him from the group. No, the group, yeah.
Okay. And then Adam's putting in a plug for me.
Okay.
I think he liked my last cover, so he's making sure all of you know that he liked my last cover. So thank you for that, Adam. Recorded in my bathroom. I'm sure many recording artists has recorded in the bathroom because there really tend to be better acoustics there than in a big room somewhere. And I really don't want the sound of the turtle tank. Although in that recording that I just put together and released on Monday, I have dogs. There's dogs. So there's always the potential. I have had to stop and restart a couple of covers before because a leaf falls on the front porch or something and they start barking.
Jingle Bells by the Dogs. Get the dogs to do Jingle Bells. Remember the Jingle Bells song?
Yeah.
Barking dogs.
They all bark, the different pitches, And so if you listen closely in that James Bond cover, you'll hear some little clanking noises, and it was one of the dogs trying to get into the bathroom while I was there with the door closed recording. And I thought, okay, I'm aware of it. I'm just going to trust that no one else will really be listening for that because they're hearing me and the music. So I hope that was the case. I noticed no one commented that what were those clanging noises? Your dog's trying to get into the bathroom. So just always be mindful of that if you hear some unexplained sounds.
It's called percussion.
In my videos. Yeah, it's just extra. It's just the percussion section improvising. Yeah. Yes, it was near the beginning, Adam. So you did hear it. Welcome back, David, and thank you for the compliments. Let's see. So any questions for this David? Any questions? David, do you have questions for me, for our previous guest? Anyone else that you've seen?
You know, your previous guest was very gentle and insightful. I thought I really enjoyed. I didn't know of him. I didn't know, and you said gaming and that, and I thought he really came off like different than what I would expect someone in that genre to be involved in. But his humility was really nice to see in human being.
Yeah. So again, you experienced the same thing I experienced when I first saw his name or first came across his channel. And, I may have popped in and heard them talking about gaming and thought, oh, there's so many of these channels. It really wasn't until I saw him being interviewed on another channel that I just really fell in love with what he's doing and who he is here on YouTube. So that's part of what I love about having guests on the show. And I really try to focus on the smaller channels because I just really believe that some of the channels that maybe don't have a big presence on YouTube yet, it's just because people don't know about them. And I'm not saying my channel's big enough that it really might make that much of a difference, but organic growth doesn't always happen fast. So you just touch a couple of people, meet a couple of new people, and then they'll tell a couple of people. And what was that commercial? And they'll tell a friend, and so on and so on. What was that old commercial?
Reach out and touch someone. I don't know.
Yeah, something. I don't remember what that was. All right. So I don't think I have any more questions for you.
Okay, that's fine.
I might get you back on the show again at some point.
Sure. Well, and if you need any help doing a live singing and nerve, let me know.
Okay.
I'll come over and cheer you on.
Okay. Yeah. Again, the question came up. I think it was actually Dr. Lund that asked if I was planning to do any Christmas stuff. And I am, because I really just assumed that it would make sense. We have a Christmas collaboration that we're hoping people will participate in. And it's not generally how the collaborations work here, at least not the homesteady kind of ones I've done. Usually collaboration means, you want to be in on the soup recipe collab, and you just do a hashtag and then reference the channel that started the collab. So it's not always, shared material other than titles and channel names and hashtags. And so we want to do, meaning my husband and I, a Christmas collaboration where people send us little video clips or photos or audio, clips of a story from their childhood or a special Christmas memory or their favorite Christmas dish, anything that's holiday related. And then we're going to compile it into a video that I want to release a week or so before Christmas. And so I told her that I do want to record at least a couple of Christmas songs for that. It's already proving to be hard for me. I'm already trying to think ahead. What would I want to pick? Because I have a lot of Christmas favorites. Never quite know what YouTube is going to allow or not. I know my covers so far. I was sharing last week that I only have one cover. I mean, I've been able to upload everything. I can publish all of them, but some copyright holders won't allow me to earn any revenue off of them, which is fine because I'm not releasing those. Anything else, I might like to make money off of it. I'm not releasing covers to make money off of it. That's just a big part of who I have always been. And I need to get over some hangups about sharing that with people. And so I don't know Christmas song wise if there's going to be something out there that's like off limits? I would hope not, because so many of the Christmas songs I would think are like public domain at this point.
Yeah, a lot of them are.
But we'll know. I'm taking suggestions. If you guys want to ask for something specifically that you'd like me to record Christmas song wise, that might take some pressure off of me to decide.
There you go.
Let's
yeah, that's a good
see.
idea. See, David Hunt had a question.
Yeah, what's audio excursion about?
Yeah.
So I know you kind of talked about it in the beginning, but you can sum it up for us.
Sure. Well, actually, my channel name changed because I used to be called The Sound of Safe and Sound Texas. And a lot of people tended to stumble over that for some reason. And so after a lot of effort and work, including with Dr. Lund, finally settled on audio excursion. It's kind of like traveling through different aspects of music and audio, whether it's equipment or whether it's records or whether it's any topic about maybe an artist. I did a thing on Karen Carpenter, for example, and her voice. And so it's like just different. I just did an interview with a guy from Germany who runs a record label. So I kind of did the motif of an airplane flying across on Google Earth to his location in Germany, to hold this interview. So it's kind of like just virtual excursions to different aspects of music and sound and audio.
Sweet. David is quite a gifted musician. The David that asked that question.
Oh, okay.
So, and I don't know if you were in the chat yet. He was here earlier, and I am still trying to pin down a date to have him on the show. And I
remember you said that. Yeah.
Yeah, I want him to. I want to say perform. I'm going to call it perform. I don't know that he sees it that way. I think it's more of a ministry kind of for him, but for just regular folks out there, I think it would be like a performance that just happens to bless people. So,
Sure.
And it'll be the second time. I did have Lee from First Floor Audio on the show a month or two ago, and he did virtually a concert for us that day. It was mind-boggling. It was unbelievably, it was so much more than I expected from him. But again, I think when you have music in you, there really should be some compulsion to share it. I just think that's what I think. So again, I need to get over some hang-ups and not be my own worst critic. And all right, so David can do it any Friday. All right, so I'm going to send you another email, other David, and we're going to pin down a date to get you on the show. But as always, I encourage you guys, please check out David's channel. Let me put up these links. I know you can't click these links from these things, but you could do a screenshot or something. I think I have the links in the video description for this live stream also. But there's David's channel address, and then here's Daryl's channel address. Obviously, if you just type that @ and the name of the channel, YouTube will take you there. Put that in the search bar on YouTube and type @ Safe and Sound Texas Audio Excursion or Safe and Sound or @ Fat Ninja DM. Then it brings up that channel for you. So
yes, right.
Yeah, so that's a nifty way to find the channels without having to have these long links sometimes. I do want to put another, just a little plug for us, our channel right quick. When I checked our stats this morning, I do check stats every day, and we were at 1,690 subscribers when I checked this morning. And the numbers don't mean, everything to me, but I'm very numbers driven, and I do interpret that kind of growth. I do interpret increases in the numbers to be an indicator of effectively reaching more people. That by whatever means, somebody discovered us, somebody stumbled upon a video or heard about us from another person, and decided that, what we're doing has some value for them. And so that it is an encouragement. It is a source of motivation for me. Sure. And so to be that close to 1,700, I'd love to see that happen. I didn't think we would really grow that fast, and I don't have a magic number in mind for us. I've shared before, and it's as honest as I can get. If we at least make enough money every month that it's paying for the duck and goose food, then I'm thrilled about that, because then it's just less that we have to come up with. And the primary purpose of the channel when we started it was to share our lives with our animals. We have a lot of rescue animals. Um, we've fostered a lot of dogs. We've foster failed with a lot of dogs. We've got, rescue horse and a mule and turtles and ducks, and all the dogs are rescues. So I'd love to see the number go up. I'd love to know that I have more opportunities to maybe brighten somebody's day, or, reach new audiences where I can shout out some of these other channels that are up and coming and looking for places where they can share their messages as well. So I do want to thank you for taking some time out of your day to be on the show.
Sure,
I enjoy what you're doing at your channel. I appreciate Dr. Lund for telling me about you, because I would never have thought to look for what you're doing. I would.
Sure.
It's not, that part of the reason I'm so encouraged that you're growing at the rate you're growing is that it's got to be word of mouth. I don't know that it's something that people, what search thing would you put in? Maybe vinyl community. If someone,
that's a big one.
Then, but I had not heard that term. So, so I'm excited about what you're doing, and I'll be ready to celebrate you when that number 2,000 comes around. I hope it's before the end of the year as well, but it's not far off, even if it doesn't happen by then. So that's all I think I have for today, guys. We have, I don't know if you're familiar. We board dogs here. We've had a day now. Today has been a day without boarders. It's just our 3 dogs. But we have a boarder coming this evening who will be with us for a week. Then we have another boarder coming tomorrow morning that will be with us for about 6 days. And then our regular boarder, we have a boarder now that comes twice a week. She spends the night 2 nights a week. She'll be here Sunday. So we will have a house full of dogs for sure. So today is kind of a break for me that I can sit and talk with humans. And
you could coin a term, dogs without borders. See, it's like doctors without borders.
Right? There we go. It's a great video series idea. I could certainly turn that into something for the channel. Yeah, Vicki, I am so glad you tuned me in to David and his channel. This was a great interview. Thank you for your responses to the questions. Again, thanks for taking time out to be with me. I'm going to turn you loose, and then I'll wrap things up for the stream. And you guys check out his channel.
Take care, everybody. Have a nice holiday. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, so another episode on the books. If anyone needs lemons, please contact Adam Sky. You can go to his channel and leave a comment on a video, and you guys can work out, all of the logistics and the pricing and stuff like that. As always, I appreciate all of you for being here today. It will never not amaze me that people come to these live streams, and I don't want to feel like that. I don't want to feel like what I'm doing is not entertaining or doesn't at least mean something to y'all, but I know there's plenty of other things you could be doing, and that you would come and spend a little while here. It really means a lot to me. I hope you will all be back next week to meet Peter Tragos. I hope you will tell your friends about our streams. If you're not already subscribed, I hope you'll join our little family by doing that. And I hope that you will check out the channel, the content creators, their channels that we met today, along with the channels on my little spreadsheet for other channels that I've interviewed and our channel members. Because again, I've already vetted these people. I know they have something to offer, and I know, again, that there's room at the top, so to speak, for all of us. And it's together that we all realize our dreams and meet these goals and share our messages. So I just want to thank y'all. I want to thank all of our veterans. I'm not sure how many veterans we have in the chat today. That's a big important thing to me as well. My dad and my grandfather on my dad's side were both Air Force veterans. Richard is a Marine Corps veteran. Our son Gerald is a Marine Corps combat veteran. And so, you know, I wasn't called to serve. I am appreciative for all of those who were. It includes the four-legged veterans out there. I grew up with German Shepherds because my dad was military police in the Air Force, and he had a German Shepherd canine partner. Oh, right on cue. Wow, way to go, Boone. So German Shepherds are my heart dogs, and they have served a critical role in conflicts around the world all along. So much love to everyone here. I do hope to see you guys at Late Horror Show tonight for the overnight stream. I neglected to look and see what it's going to be tonight. Boone, honey, come here. Oh, Boone's upset because Richard just left. We're tending to a client's horses while she's out of town. That's through Sunday that we'll be doing that. And so Boone is probably voicing his disdain that he didn't get to go with Richard to do that. So again, back on track. Much love to everyone. Come hang out with me at Dino's tonight. And be blessed. Stay warm and dry wherever you are. And send me your Christmas song suggestions if you have Christmas song suggestions. And please, please submit photos or little video clips or audio clips, something for our Christmas project. If you don't know about that, please go to our channel. It's the little introductory video on our homepage. It has the link for our Google Drive where you'll send those files. And I'd love to see something from all of you so that we can celebrate the season together and spread a little love and joy this Christmas. So take care, be safe, and I will see you in my next video. And then we'll get together again next Friday for another Rich Cat Ranch Roundup. Take care, everyone. I'll leave the chat open for a little bit after I leave the screen, just because I know sometimes you guys are saying your goodbyes, and that'll give you another minute if you want to put a Christmas song suggestion in the chat or something. All right. Take care. Love you.